It's Kingdom Millionaire Mentor Ike Ikoku with the Kingdom Millionaire Institute, here to share a brief overview of high yield savings accounts. You know, whenever volatility sneaks back into the markets, I always say that it shakes out the wannabe investors from true investors. It draws a line of demarcation between what I call junior varsity players and the varsity players in the game of investing. Now, while most view volatility as a bad thing, it's actually healthy for the markets as it abides by the universal laws that govern the creation of all things, including wealth. The law of polarity tells us that for markets to be up and for us to acknowledge, to actually know that the markets are up, that means that we have to have experienced a time when the markets were down. The simplest rule of investing is to simply buy into the markets when they are low and then to sell when they're high, even though far too many people end up doing quite the opposite. Now, the law of rhythm tells us, and it reminds us, that there's really sort of an ebb and flow to the markets, right? And that there's a seasonality that we need to come to terms and agree with as it relates to the markets. And all of this is really very natural and very healthy for a normal functioning market to create those opportunities for wealth creation that you and I both look for and that we desire. Now, those who don't understand all of this allow themselves to be paralyzed by fear. And one of the things that fear leads to is typically making bad decisions or inaction during times when we really need to be taking action. Now, despite the orderly flow of what I would call chaotic disorder within the markets, there are still times when the market participants exit the markets in droves and seek cover in what we would call safe havens. You know, when the herd makes a stampede to places of safety, having your money just sitting in a checking account might not always be the most ideal place to park your money. A high yield savings account provides a much better alternative for you. So what are these high yield savings accounts and how can you benefit from them? Well, for starters, high yield savings accounts allow you to earn much higher interest rates than you can get from traditional banks. These higher rates are typically found with online banks because, well, for starters, they can pay anywhere from 5 to as much as 10 times what the conventional brick and mortar banks might offer because of the efficiency that's built into an online banking model versus that which is associated with a traditional brick and mortar bank. I mean, depending on a host of economic factors and where we may be at within any given economic cycle, conventional banks could pay interest rates ranging from 0.01% to maybe 0.03%. High yield savings accounts, on the other hand, can offer interest rates ranging anywhere from 1% to as much as 2.2%. So what are the benefits of utilizing these high yield savings accounts? Well, here's a few of them to consider. For starters, you're being paid a much higher interest rate, like we said, anywhere from 5 to maybe 10 times higher for where you choose to actually park your money. Second is just the whole idea of having a better opportunity to actually keep up with the pace of inflation. A third benefit worthy of consideration is the fact that you get to avoid a lot of the monthly fees that are commonly associated with these brick and mortar banks who carry much higher overhead than a lot of these online banks do. A fourth consideration is the ability to avoid needing to maintain a minimum account balance just so you can avoid a lot of those fees that the brick and mortar banks typically tack on. And the last benefit worthy of consideration is the fact that you have the opportunity to have access to what I would call quick and easy, as well as pretty painless account opening processes with an online bank than you would a traditional brick and mortar bank. I remember my last experience opening up an account for a new business, and I went in, had all the forms, all the necessary documents from the Secretary of State, everything that they would need to open up that bank. And I was short of time, and I figured, hey, I had enough time to be able to do this, to get to work for an appointment. And rather than a 15 to 30 minute meeting, it turned out to be almost a 2-hour meeting. I called back to the branch manager and just lit into them about their customer service because I was very clear about what my time restrictions were and had all my documents, and yet You open up the bank and they want to sell you all of these additional services that you have no need of, even though you've made it perfectly clear you're not interested in merchant processing. You don't have a need for payroll services or whatever else it is that they want to offer to you. And so again, with an online bank, you get to avoid a lot of that foolishness and can open up your accounts quickly and easily and be a better steward over your time, to say the least. So the next time you feel like you're entertaining the need to sort of take a flight to safety with your money, you should consider taking a trip to your online bank in your pajamas and from the comfort of your home. Don't do like I did and go to a physical bank, brick and mortar bank, unless you're just really keen on wasting a couple of hours of your time. Hey, I hope you found this video to be useful. I wish you well. I'll see you at my next video. Take care. God bless.